House of Representatives has summoned President Muhammadu Buhari to appear before it to explain the spate of killing in many parts of the country. The Assembly also passed a vote of no confidence on the country's service chief and security advisor to the president. It further resolved to suspend sitting for 3 legislative days to express displeasure over recurring killing. This resolution followed the unanimous adoption of a motion under the matter of urgent public importance moved by Rep. Mark Gabila from Benue. Nigeria has been facing security challenges ranging from Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast, herdsmen and farmers' fight in the north-central state, among others. Last Tuesday, persons suspected to be herdsmen attacked and killed worshippers, including 2 priests in Catholic Church in Benue State. In Borno, which is the epicenter of Boko Haram activity, a suicide bomber attacked a mosque in Bama at the weekend, killed 2 persons and injured several others. President Muhammadu Buhari has written a letter to the Senate asking for the approval of payment of sum of $496 million, equivalent of 151 billion naira, for the purchase of 12 Super Tucano jets to fight militant group Boko Haram. The letter to this effect was read by the Senate President Bukola Saraki at the Red Chamber.
Mr. President, supplementary input to the 2018 Appropriation Bill, purchase of Super Tucano aircraft from the United States government. I wish to draw the attention of the Senate to the ongoing security emergencies in the country. These challenges were discussed with the state governors and subsequently at the meeting of the National Economic Council on the 14th of December 2017. Where a resolution was passed with the Council approving that up to $1 billion may be released and utilized from the excess crude account to address the situation. Subsequent upon this approval, we are preparing a comprehensive schedule of all the requirements for each of the security services for presentation to the National Assembly for consideration. It will be recalled that for a number of years, Nigeria had been in discussions with the United States government for the purchase of Super Tucano aircraft under a direct government-to-government arrangement. Recently, approval was granted by the United States government, but with a deadline within which part payment must be made, otherwise the contract will lapse. In the expectation that the National Assembly will have no objection to the purchase of these highly specialized aircraft, which is critical to national security, I granted anticipatory approval for the release of $496,374,470 This was paid directly to the Treasury of the United States government. I am therefore writing seeking approval of the Senate for the sum of $496,374,470, equivalent to $151,394,421,335 naira, to be included in the 2018 Appropriation Bill, which the National Assembly is currently finalizing. The balance of the requirements for critical operational equipment is still being collated from the different security services and will be presented in the form of a supplementary appropriation bill in due course. The Honorable Minister of Defense and other appropriate officers will be available to provide further details as may be required. While thanking this distinguished Senate for the usual cooperation, please accept, Mr. President, the assurances of my highest regards. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari.
The same presidential request for the purchase of the fighter jet at the House of Representatives prompted a call for the president's impeachment barely 24 hours earlier. From National Assembly Complex, Abuja, Muyiwa Bamidele reporting. The Nigerian Senate adjourned the Wednesday plenary session over the arrest and detention of Senator Dino Melai by the Nigerian police. The lawmaker took turn at Wednesday plenary to condemn the police for what they term as inhuman treatment of Melai by security operatives.
Mr. President, I don't feel that the way and manner Dino has been handled is the best way to handle it. Is belittling, is demeaning. All of us are demeaned in the person, in the way Dino is handled. That's not the way it should be done. And I rise and join for voicing with my colleague here that the security agencies, and i.e. the police, the DSS, should be here to explain the whereabouts of Dino and explain why he should be handled the way he's being handled. A sitting and a serving senator, handled like just a common criminal on the street that way, that is condemnable and is condemned. And I speak here from my heart, and for him, and for all of us here, that we have to defend democracy. And I have the rights, the rights of common people in this way must be upheld. Not just Dino, any other person. We must obey the course of law and the orders they make. That's part of democracy. It's not only when the judiciary is saying, making orders that will please the government. No. When they make orders that they don't suit, they take it. That is what it should be. And we have to follow this because this matter is in the court already. And anybody who is acting outside this is now taking laws into his hand and is condemned by my person here. I thank you, Mr. President.
I will say it to all of us here. The opportunity of being here is a phase in our lives. For those of you who want to remain here permanently, and for those of us who see this place as a phase in our lives, we know that the history that we will be judged with are two: our collective history as a parliament and our individual history. But this Senate and this parliament must stand firm and speak the truth, because you will not be judged by the favors you think you will get today. You will not be judged by the promises that is made to you. You'll be judged by which position did you take when democracy is being attacked. I said this is a difficult moment for people to speak the truth. It's a difficult time. A difficult time. Many people, when you bring controversial issues at this very time, they will prefer to remain silent. Or they will bury their heads in the sand, hoping that the issue will go away. But I think we should be man enough. When you are elected to be a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you are duty-bound morally and constitutionally to stand in the defense of freedom and justice. You must speak truth to power when it is wrong. And I call on this Senate to stand firm. What has happened to one of us can happen to all of us.
When we have so many cases in Benue, Zamfara, and all those things, and we need to If you see the number of policemen, about 100 policemen in the hospital, it's uncalled for. If we have this strength in the police that we can dedicate about 100 policemen to one person on allegation, why can't we move those policemen to Zamfara or to Benue, where killings are taking place every day? So if we don't fight for injustice, we are killing our democracy, because I feel this one is not right, and we have to condemn it. No matter the side, whether you like him or you don't like him, it is an issue that has to do with human being. It is an issue that has to do with our democracy. It is the issue that has to do with fundamental human rights.
Contributed in support of Dino, our colleague, and what happened. But what I am not in support is we should address issues. And when we begin to implicate different issues, like I remember Senator Otazi was saying, and the man died, and the man died. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm a scientist. So, I'll rather face the issue. And if we are talking about a particular issue, we should stay with it. But when we begin to bring a government that a lot of people also supported to be here, to use whatever happened as to implicate the government, I think, I think I'm against that. We should face the issue. I'm not in support of what happened to Dino. And immediately that Omar Gege has been led away by police, you will know that the sanctity of this place has been invaded upon. And if anybody will be taken away, it has set an example. Because whatever happens here, we should be able to take it as good statesmen and women to address it intimately. And if we have anything with the executive, we have leadership here who are supposed to go there and meet with Mr. President, which I believe in the past you have been doing. But we should face the issue and treat the issue, because this government is only just have been 3 years of 16 years of rot. It has only been in power for 3 years and inherited a lot of trouble. And just yesterday we saw what happened in Benue with the priest. We have to discuss that as well. And that is my worry. And the people out there are watching us and they are listening to us. And they need protection, just like the people in here need protection. The average man outside also needs protection. And if what happened with the correspondence from the president today that we will debate later, we will see certain things has to be done and has to be put in place. So those are the things. The safety of the people is important, and I think it's in this constitution. Thank you, Mr. President.
My own little wisdom, and because I have been in detention, not once, not twice, not 3 times, I know, or I can imagine the trauma this colleague of ours is in. I don't believe we help the situation at this moment of time, of his condition. There has been enough expression of emotions in support of this colleague. I think the concentration now, the emphasis now, should be what can we do as colleagues to get him out of this present predicament that he's in. The outpouring of confrontational language does not help us in this situation, does not help him. Here we are in the comfort of this chamber, and with the immunity that we enjoy in this chamber, to say the things that have been said. It does not help his situation now. I would rather, with due respect to my colleagues, we develop, as one of the colleagues did suggest a while ago, have a delegation, official delegation. Know where he is, visit him, and then see how best we can talk to the appropriate authority concerned with his situation to see how he gets released. That is what is priority, and not this grandstanding or emotion that we're expressing. That's my...
They also summoned the Inspector General Police, Ibrahim Idris, to appear before them in plenary on Thursday to explain the circumstances surrounding the police operation. The President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, decried that he had not been able to reach the IG since 48 hours, describing it as an insult to the legislature. Saraki told the lawmaker that he has sent a delegation to the National Hospital where Malai was being treated under the watch of policemen.
And these actions, whether we want to admit it or not, is a threat to these democracies we're all fighting for. The excesses must be contained in the interest of all of us. We're about to start a period of elections, and if these are the kind of excesses of those who are meant to be responsible for providing law and order, there's great concern in this country today. And those who are directly responsible need to know that this is responsibility. And as such, we must all condemn this action. This is not where we should be spending our energy on. These are not not a member, somebody who is a senator or an individual in this country today. So it is important that the IGP, even me for the last 48 hours, I have not been able to reach the IGP. I have tried so many times to find out what is the situation. I think that is not a disrespect to me as an individual, but to this institution. To this institution. Because we cannot talk about security without collaboration with the legislation. And this kind of attitude must stop if we truly want to sustain and create an enabling environment. As we all said, we're not talking about the merits of what he did or did not do. There's procedures and there are ways of finding this out. So, two things is one, to ascertain his state of mind, ascertain his situation, and also to find a way out quickly to find a solution to this problem.
The Senate thereafter adjourned plenary after a voice vote and proceeded to National Hospital to check on Senator Dino Melai. From Abuja, Muiwa Bamdeli reporting. Nigerian senator paid a solidarity visit to Senator Dino Melai at National Hospital. This followed a point of order raised by Senator Mao Mwabua representing Abia North that the plenary should be suspended for senators to ascertain the health condition of Senator Dino Melai, who was molested by the police. Speaking with journalists after the visit on Melai, the Senate President Bukola Saraki confirmed that Melai is responding to treatment.
After sitting in the Senate today, we resolved to come here because for 24 hours we had not heard the state of Senator Dino. We're happy that we've just seen him. He's in intensive care. He's stable for now. Though he has not eaten for the last 24 hours, we're trying to resolve that. He's on fluids and he's been seen by cardiologists, by all specialists to try and ensure. As you know, he also has a lot of underlying issues. He's asthmatic, so we're a bit concerned. But for now, we thank God he's stable. I want to thank the management of the National Hospital, by the chairman, our former speaker, for the professional and the medical staff for what they've been able to do so far. As for now, he's stable, he's being monitored, and we continue to pray for him that he fully recovers from his present predicament here.
Can you confirm if he's still in handcuffs on the bed?
He's not in handcuffs.
How about you, sir? When did you get
It will recall that Senator Dino Melai has since Monday been in the news with the police victimization.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has again stepped into the interbank sector of the foreign exchange market by intervening in the wholesale segment and other sectors of the market to the tune of $210 million. Figures released by the bank on Tuesday, April 24, 2018, revealed that the wholesale sector of the market got another injection of $100 million, just as the small and medium enterprises and invincible sectors each received $55 million. The Apex Bank confirmed that interventions, like the previous intermediations, were in line with the commitment to sustain the high level of stability in the forex market and continually ease access to the currency by those requiring it for genuine activities. Tuesday's intervention came as one United States dollar exchanged for 361 naira in the BDC segment of the market. Meanwhile, it will be recalled that the CBN, in its last interventions on Friday, April 20, 2018, injected the sum of $396.18 million into the retail secondary market intervention sales.